Thanks, Tim, and thanks ShareCafe for inviting us to tell our story. Maximus Resources, we're a junior mining explorer. We've got tenements located 25 kilometres from Cambodia, and we are in Western Australia, Australia's premier gold and nickel mining district. Maximus holds currently 48 square kilometres of granted mining tenements. We're located within 50 kilometres of 6 gold processing plants. Like Tim said, we're a new management team, and we're focused on resource expansion and discovery for the next Waddle Dam. We've got over 60 plus untested gold and nickel targets across a 30-kilometre strike of a very fertile Spargoville shear zone. There's significant gold and nickel production from our tenements, including the very high-grade Waddle Dam Mine. We've got 8 million in potential royalties, with 1 million in potential near-term Q1 next year, and a large data set to mine. We've got over 422 gigabytes of data to help us uncover the next Waddle Dam. Next slide, please. Corporate snapshot, we've got 120 million shares on issue, 21 million market cap. Top 20 hold about 30% of the company. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Location. We are in Western Australia's premier gold and nickel district, if not Australia's, 25 kilometres from Cambodia. I've joked before you could ride a bicycle to our tenements from Cambodia. These are granted mining licenses and hosted the Waddle Dam mine. I've mentioned the gold processing plants. We're also located 25 kilometres from BHP Cambodia nickel concentrator. This is the concentrator that will be doing Mincor's Cassini's nickel ore in the near future, and it's a very prolific gold and nickel region that we're in. Next slide, please. The Waddle Dam Mine, it was mined by Ramelius. It completed in 2012. It's hosted in ultramafics in the komatiite with interflow sedimentary units through it. Very coarse gold. When mining underground, they saw seams of gold running through the faces as thick as your thumb. Mined under 270,000 ounces at 10.5 grams, short strike, vertically plunging around 8 to 15 metres wide. It was mined down to 365 metres, so shallow in depth, and potential for extension there. Next slide, please. The timeline of Waddle Dam and where we are today. It originally started off as a 3-gram open pit. It ended up producing around 53,000 ounces at 5.3 grams. Ultimately, the underground went mining 210,000 ounces at just under 15 grams per tonne. That was the cash cow for Ramelius. It was the building blocks for Ramelius. They were able to purchase Harmony's Gold Hill 50 for $40 million. Large acquisition for a junior mining company at that. And 2 years after that purchase, these tenements were sold to Taikin. Taikin found Redback and did not develop it. Those assets were transferred over to Maximus, and last year Maximus, unfortunately, we sold the Burbanks mill, releasing the company of all debt and refreshing the company for a new start. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. This is the Redback Prospect. This is the focus for us. It's 600 metres from Waddle Dam. Significant similarities to Waddle Dam. Same geological setting, same structural setting, same initial grade and zones, ore zone thickness. It has a wide zone of this biotite ultramafic. We know that there's inadequate drill density. It sits 60 to 70 metres below surface, and we know that there's significant depth and strike extension. 440,000 tonnes at 3 grams, remembering that Waddle Dam started off its life as a 3-gram open pit. Next slide, please. This is a plan view of Redback and Golden Orb and S5 target. You can see those significant gold intersections, 16 meters at 6, 7 meters at 10. So these are spectacular gold intersections. We can see these high grade intersections next to modest intersections. So very similarities to Wattle Dam, and if not, maybe Wattle Dam 2.0. Next slide, please. This is the slide that I think is the most exciting. It shows Wattle Dam and Redback to the left. These are the two bookends, 600 meters apart, and it shows very limited exploration between these two areas. There's potential for a drive across from Waddle Dam, and in the middle, we've just had recently our S5 target. And if we can pick up ore on the way across to Redback, it can pay for any development to get into Redback. You can see how open Redback is, and the opportunity that we've got within between Redback and Waddle Dam. Next slide, please. S5, this is another great picture. It shows the proximity of Redback to Waddle Dam. Our S5, this was drilled on the first day that I joined the company, 3 meters at 83.3 grams per tonne, including 1 meter at just 7 ounces. We had another broader intersection of lower grade material, 22 meters at 0.6. It was 37 meters at 0.4. This is more exciting for us, a technical success, broad low grade intersection next to a high grade intersection. So that will be our focus and our drilling in the coming weeks to do RC drilling around our S5 target. And you can see the proximity of what I was discussing before about coming across to Redback. Next slide, please. Larkinville and Eagle's Nest. These are two resources. Larkinville is a shallow, high grade resource. It's open on strike. It's got 3 grams, and we've got some further drilling to do there. Eagle's Nest is where they discovered Western Australia's largest gold nugget. Anyone watches Gold Hunters has been out there, highly disturbed area. And we see a shallow open pit and potential underground there. So currently we're doing our environmental permitting for Larkinville and Eagle's Nest, doing our spring and autumn. And in between now and autumn, we'll be putting a scoping study out for both those projects and assign some valuation of those resources to the company. Next slide, please. Nickel opportunity. We're in Western Australia, Australia's nickel heart. Some very prospective, we've got 17 highly priority nickel targets, and you can see the line of nickel discoveries which end at into our tenements, which is shown in orange. Below our tenements was WMC. WMC was instigator for all the, if not all the discoveries of nickel in the Kambalda region, and through a series of ownership, WMC never had this ground to the north. So you can see where the real nickel occurrences stop on into our tenements. So quite exciting opportunity for nickel for us. Next slide, please. Our Hill Ditch project, that's in the 7 kilometres to the north of Waddle Dam. There is a small gold resource there. And the more interesting thing for Hill Ditch is there's our nickel. So we've got a 300 metre nickel gossan at surface. Below that, there are some nickel intersections, 2 metres at 2.4. None of the work has been followed up. And directly below these nickel occurrences, nickel intersections, there's a geophysics EM plate that's just never been drilled. And through the series of ownerships, that work just needs to be done. So EIS granting for Hill Ditch, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to be successful and be drilling Hill Ditches as soon as we can. Next slide, please. So the strategic objectives for the company and the new team: drill near mine targets at our S5. So we've got 2,500 metres of drilling. A slight delay. RC drill rigs are a premium in West Australia at the moment, with borders being shut. And we've got some air core across our core farm paleo channel. We've got some diamond drilling with a plan of 2,500 metres of resource extension and infill drilling at our Redback. target generation from geophysics, low-cost opportunity for a near-term gold production at a paleo channel. Flora and fauna started at Larkinville and Eagle's Nest and Redback in preparation for mining proposals submission, and some rationalisation of our tenements across our gold and nickel rights. So exciting time and busy time ahead for us, for our new team at Maximus. So thanks very much.
Thanks, Tim. Got to say, I love watching Gold Hunters. I think it's a great show. It tells you how difficult the gold industry is, though. So you recently raised around 3.2 million, I think, back in September. Where are those funds going to be deployed? You seem to be sport for choice.
Yep, definitely focus for us. So we've got half of that money, if not our largest shareholder. So all of his money will be going into the ground. We've got around $200,000 to $400,000 we have earmarked for geophysics, reprocessing that geophysics, and already starting to see some benefits of reprocessing that data. The company and the remainder of funds is just setting the company back up to build, and yeah, like I said, $1.5 million is going to go into the ground. So setting up the company for that.
And how do you pick up such strategic assets in such a well-known gold zone?
So these assets have effectively been in the family for a very, very long time. So 2003, Ramelius was a spin-out from Beach Energy. It was led by Bob Kennedy. That then was the platform for a cash cow for Ramelius. They purchased Hill 50, large acquisition for that company. Those assets were moved over to Tykean, another Bob Kennedy controlled company, and Tykean ran into some financial challenges. Those assets were moved into Maximus, another company controlled by Bob Kennedy, and so it's effectively been in the family for a long time, and that's why it's such an exciting time for us to be able to get opportunity to have these tenements which have been pretty much locked up for such a long time. 25 kilometres from Kambalda, so you know, we're right in the heart of it, and pretty exciting to be able to get the opportunity to throw some science at it, change some beliefs about it, and you know, hopefully lead to some new discoveries.
And Tim, we've got a question here in terms of, you know, what are your kind of pricing forecasts expected to hold for nickel and gold out for the next couple of years? Difficult question.
Yeah, I mean, so when we were doing the raise, we raised as much as we could at the time. Who knows what's going to happen next year?
And do you have any more a more specific time frame on when you think these dig drills will be available and the program?
Yeah, so unfortunately, we were supposed to be. I'm in Kambalda right now, in preparation for some drilling. We were supposed to be drilling this week, and the current client for the drill rig has extended their drill pattern, holding on to the drill rigs. I would do the same. And so we're busily securing another rig, an RC rig, and that's our priority to get into the S5 and the linking structure between Redback and Wattle Dam. So hopefully be able to advise the market and update the market during the week. I understand everyone's really excited to find out when we are started drilling. So we've been working quite hard in securing that drill rig.
And you mentioned that was a COVID issue, but is it also an issue as in regards to how busy it is out there at the moment as well?
Yeah, everyone's very, very well funded. That was the sort of theme I heard from diggers. Everyone's got a lot of money. There is a shortage of personnel, and you know, we've heard one statistic: 30% of our sort of workforce comes and the drillers come across. There are some drillers here and workforce that have been in Western Australia since the start of the year. So it's going to be very interesting come Q4, and people having to return to Western Australia and go back and see their families and potentially return to their families. So yeah, be interesting times ahead.